At exactly 3 a.m., the graveyard was wrapped in an eerie silence, broken only by the occasional hoot of an owl and the rustle of leaves. Mark had heard the rumors about the ghostly apparitions that appeared at this unholy hour and decided to see for himself. He stepped cautiously, his flashlight casting long shadows among the tombstones. As Mark moved deeper into the graveyard, a dense fog began to roll in, obscuring his view. The temperature dropped suddenly, sending a shiver down his spine. He paused, listening. A faint whispering sound reached his ears, like the soft murmur of distant voices. Mark's heart pounded in his chest. He turned off his flashlight, hoping to blend into the darkness. The whispers grew louder, more distinct, and he could almost make out words. They seemed to be chanting, a mournful melody that filled the air with sorrow. Suddenly, he saw them. Ghostly figures began to materialize around him, their translucent forms glowing faintly in the moonlight. They moved gracefully among the graves, their faces sad and forlorn. Mark wanted to run, but his feet felt rooted to the ground. One of the apparitions drifted closer, its hollow eyes locking onto Mark's. It raised a bony finger to its lips, a silent plea for him to stay quiet. Mark obeyed, too terrified to do otherwise. The ghost continued to stare at him, its gaze filled with a mix of longing and despair. The chant grew louder, and the other ghosts joined in a macabre dance, circling around Mark. He could feel their cold presence pressing in on him, the air thick with their sorrow. It was as if they were reenacting some long-forgotten ritual, bound to this place by an unbreakable curse. Mark's fear gave way to a strange sense of empathy. He realized these spirits were not malevolent, they were trapped, longing for peace. He tried to speak, his voice barely more than a whisper. "What do you want?" The leading ghost pointed to a nearby tombstone, its inscription barely visible through the fog. Mark squinted, reading the name and dates. It was the grave of a young woman, long forgotten. He felt a sudden urge to uncover the truth about her death, to bring closure to these restless souls. Summoning his courage, Mark promised the ghosts he would return with answers. The chanting ceased, and the apparitions began to fade, their forms dissolving into the mist. The graveyard returned to its eerie stillness, the only sound now his own labored breathing. As he left the graveyard, the first rays of dawn breaking through the horizon, Mark knew his life had changed forever. He was determined to uncover the story behind the ghostly apparitions, to honor their silent pleas for justice and peace.